Oh, it's roasting. Yes, it is. Well done for noticing. It's 38 degrees. And you know what, because it's been 38 degrees, I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna go and get some of the thickness taken out of my hair. Went round the corner to this hairdresser's, great reviews, and I left about half an hour later with what could only be described as a soccer mum bob. But it was still wet, so I was like, this might be cool. Walked home. It had dried by the time I got home. Looked in the mirror. Oh my God, nope. I went straight back. I said, don't worry about it. I've only been growing it for 3 years. It's only my absolute pride and joy after my guitars and my girlfriend. Anyway, so I'm back to looking like 2016. So if you've just watched my Game of Thrones tutorial and subscribed, you probably think, wow, this guy looks exactly the same. He doesn't age. Keep a bad haircut in the bag. You can lose like 3 years in 30 minutes. Anyway, my apologies for not making videos recently. I have been well busy, like well busy with something. I can't really tell you what that is, but it's something good. And I promise I will fill you all in very soon. We've got the day off today. It's 38 degrees. My voice seems to have dropped like 2 tones. I'm kind of liking it. I think now's the time to do the next podcast. But yeah, it's 38 degrees outside, so I thought, you know what? I'm gonna come into the only room in the house that is made out of all glass, with no fans or air conditioning, and make these guys a full tutorial for Good Times, Bad Times by Led Zeppelin. I have made a full tab to accompany this lesson, so if you want that, it will be linked in my Patreon right now. See it? It's going away now. As always, don't forget to smash that like button. Leave me a wicked comment down below. Click subscribe. And don't forget to hit the little bell next to it, so you get notified whenever I upload a really awesome video like this. Also, you've not missed it, I've not forgot, but I'm going to be announcing the winner of my Ernie Ball Hybrid Family string giveaway next week. So keep your eyes peeled. You're going to need to hit that subscribe button and the little bell next to it so you don't miss that video. So we're going to open with 2 down strums on an E5 power chord. So that's the 7th fret of the A string, the 9th fret of the D, and the 9th fret of the G. You're going to slide out from that power chord. You don't want to slide to a specific note, like, because that'll sound awful. You're just going to kind of slide out and off the neck. I think it does it 5 times in total. And then there's the big epic drum fill, and we kick into the verse. So the verse starts with those same 2 stabs on the E. Then we're going to move that power chord shape down 2 frets to D5. Now we're going to pick a pattern within that D power chord shape. So it goes A, D, G, D, G, D. And I go down, down, up, down, up, down. So we've gone. Now we've got a little arpeggio, so I take 2nd finger now on that 5th fret of the A, and then go to index finger on the 4 on the D, and then pinky on the 7 on the D. After that, we're going to put our index finger on the 4th fret of the A string. Try and give that some vibrato if you can. And then after that, we literally take the 1st finger up to the 5th fret, then the 6th fret, chromatically making our way back up to the E again on the 7th fret. So that together slowly goes like this. 3, 4. The next section starts with a G power chord, so that's the same shape we just did but rooted to the 3rd fret of the E string, 3, 5, 5, and then we immediately slide into the A, which is the 5th fret, 2 frets up. When we get there, we're going to do 2 more downstrokes. So after we've played that A chord, I move over to a D sus4, That's your index finger on the 5 on the A, and then your third finger barred across the 7, 7, 7 on the D, G, and B. But if you add that pinky to the 8th fret of the B, you're going to get the D sus4, and then that easily comes off to make the D major chord. And the rhythm that I've got here is down, up, up, and then on the D major, the same again, down, up, up, so you get this. So you're just taking it off in the middle. Obviously you'll hear some like little pick scrapes that I put in there. That's just how I play. My right hand kind of keeps the rhythm. If you want to put them in before you go to the D, there's just a down, up, mute, like that. Next bit's dead easy. You literally move the whole thing you just learned up 2 frets. So we start on the 5, up to the 7. Now moving over to E sus4 and E. But the very last time, when we slide up to the B, we're going to stay there and hit an extra upstroke at the end. After that upstroke, quickly snap back to the 5th fret and do the same thing again. And that time you're just going to ride it out on the B and stop dead. So that whole second section will sound like this. So this next section starts with a power chord again. This time it's on the 2nd fret on the F sharp. 2 downstrokes, and now we're going to do a series of double stops. So we're going to come up to the 11th fret of the D and the G. Now I like to play these with my 3rd and 4th fingers because I feel like when we do this pull off to the 9th fret of the D and the G, I get a little bit more pop in the pull off rather than just the 3rd finger, because I can't grip each string, if that makes sense. So I go with 2 fingers. So we're going to pull off from the 11s to the 9, and then I like to pick again on the 11, just for a little bit of power. So slide that whole thing down to the 4th fret, pull off to the 2, hit the 4 again, but a lot of people miss this. I can hear it kind of slide back up to the 6. It's quite cheeky. Like that. So you can go pull off to 2, pick 4, and up to the 6. Now it makes the transition back to that F sharp power chord difficult, but you'll get it with practice. I usually kind of grab it on an upstroke and go like up, down. But a lot of the time I don't go back to 3-finger power chord. I'll just use my pinky because that's easier to launch on, if that makes sense. So altogether it goes like this. You see how I'm throwing that pinky on it? It's kind of like a safety net. Because I bet you if I go fast now, I'll mess one up. Probably won't though, will I? Because I'm absolutely mint. All right, chorus. So for the chorus, you could literally play that bridge section that I showed you before where it went from G to A and then A to B. You could start going from A to B. And that'd be absolutely fine. But I've gone for a lower voicing and an inversion of the E and the F sharp chords. So if we start with a B power chord on the 2nd fret of the A, we're just going to go down, down, down. Quickly change to a double stop on the 2nd fret of the D and the G. And if you can prepare that index finger on the 1st fret of the G, that's going to be the transition between the sort of E sus4 and the E major. And what we're going to do is go. So it's 2 upstrokes and then a down mute. So you should have this. If you move the whole thing up 2 frets to the 4, and this bit, and then we're just going to stay on that 4th fret power chord. 2, 3, 4, and that takes you into the solo. Solo starts with a whole tone bend on the 14th fret of the G. Then we're going to bar the 12 on the B and the E. You're going to do that twice. So it'll be 3rd finger, bending, index finger flat, twice in a row. Then hit that E again and go E, B, E. After the E, B, E, we're going to do that bend on the 14 and the B and the E again. Now we bend that 14 on the G up and down a whole step and then pull off to the 12. Once you've done that, you're going to pick the 14 and the 12 again on that string. Now you're going to hit the 14 on the D twice, the 12 on the G, and then go back to the 14 on the D. Nice little pattern. Then we're going to go 12, 14, 12 on the G. So from here, now we're going to bend the 14 up on the G a whole step, leave it bent, and grab the 15 on the B with the pinky. Hit the 14 whilst it's pre-bent and pull it back down. Pull off to the 12. From there, you're going to hit the 14 on the G, the 12, and then the open G. That open G is something that I was like, really? Did he do that? I think he did. Sounds pretty cool. It's in key. Might have been a mistake that he just thought, you know what, sounds cool. Next phrase. Now we're going to come all the way up to the 20th fret of the B, and we're going to do a 2-tone bend. Let it down gradually, then hit the 17 twice. Then we're going to go back to the 20, and then the 17, before bending that 20 up again, just a whole step this time, and then down. So far. Now we've got this little phrase. So we hit the 17 on the B again, then the 19 on the G, and then we're going to do a hammer on pull off from the 17 to the 20 on the B, 19 on the G, and then finish on that 17. Here's the next phrase. So we're going to to slide to the 14th fret of the A with the third finger and then hit it again. 12 on the D, and then back to that 14. And then back to the 12 on the D. Now you could say this is where the actual pattern starts. So we're going to pull off from the 14th fret of the D to the 12, then pick the 14 again, and then 12 on the G, and back to the 14, and then the 12. Okay? So you go back and forth twice, effectively. And then you do the same thing on the G, 14 to 12, and then it'll be 12 on the B. Can you see how that's a pattern? Then you're going to do the same on the B string, but obviously we have to go to the 15th fret, and then 12, 15. Now we're going to go to a big whole tone bend on the 15th fret of the E, and then down. Then we hit the 12 on the E and the 15 on the B, and back and forth. Now we've got a really weird Jimmy Page rhythm, of course we have. Gets all angular, the best word to describe the man. Honestly, like, whenever I teach Zeppelin, you guys love it, but it gets messy. So what we've got here is a 17th fret whole tone bend. Hit it whilst it's still bent. Let it down, back up, down, back up. Okay? The rhythm, like I said, it's choppy, and you're going to try and bring your pick back in to... Otherwise, you're going to... You have to use your right hand to kind of dampen it. If your pick can touch the string, it allows you to be what's known as staccato. Don't know why I did that. That is literally what it's called. It just means choppy. So from that last bend up, we're going to release it, pull off to the 15, and then hit the 17 on the B. Then we hit the 15 on the high E again, and now we've got this 17, 16 on the high E. Cool little back and forth pattern. So we're going to hit the 17 twice with the third finger, second finger on the 16, and then back to the 17. And then just go 16, 17, 16. So after that last 16 on the high E, we're going to quickly bend that 17th fret up a whole tone, and then hit the 15 on the E. So now we move to the 17th fret of the B, hit it 3 times, and then hit the 15th fret once, and then we're going to bend up that 17 a tone and a half, and then finish on the 15 on the B. I'm going to play the whole thing for you really slow so that you can play along. Just take your time and have fun with it. Make sure you get it right. Doing that slow is weird. There you go. So this is a pattern similar to before, but it's descending down the E pentatonic minor scale now. So we're going to start on the high E, fret 12, index finger. Then we're going to go 15 to 12 on the B, pull off. Once you've done that pull off, you're going to start on the 15 again on the B and do another pull off, so you get 2 in a row in effect. Then you hit the G on the 14, and then back to the 12 on the B, and then you're going to pull off 14 to 12 on the G. What's actually happening is we're coming down in 3s, so if you're unsure of how it's working, you've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's down 3 notes of the scale, back up 1, and then down 3 from that one. So I'll just give you the frets as we come down. 12, 15, 12, 15, 12, 14, 12, 14, 12, 14, 12, 14, 12, 14, 12, 14, 12, 14, and then 12, 14, 12, and then this is the one that's a bit different, 14, 12, slide back to 10. And from there, we slide all the way down to the 5th fret, hang it in there, and then up to the 7th fret. And the reason is because the rhythm guitar has gone down to the D chord at that moment, so he's made sure he's resolved his phrase on the D, and then to the E when it goes back to the stabs. Okay, so the next phrase is get a little bit crazy. Do you remember when we did the 17th fret that went up and down? That kind of thing. You've got another one of them, but it's at the 15th fret. But you're going to go up and down. And the way I hear it is up, hit it whilst it's up, down, up, down, up, and then up again, and finish down. So it's a bend up, play it pre-bent, let it down, up, down, up, and then up, down. So, slow. If you've got 24 frets on your guitar, we're going to slide up to the 24th fret. If you don't, like me, then we're going to be going beyond the fretboard today. And you just have to kind of use your ear. Honestly, once you get over there, it gets so tight, it just sounds really cool. So we're going to slide up. If you can make it without bringing your hand around the front, like that, that's cool. Then we're going to slide twice into the 19 from below. Okay, so you've gone, and then down to the 12. And then you can come in from the bottom if you want, and go down. I am by no means a slide player. This is just some crap piece of pipe I found because I did the original one with a glass bottle of cashmere beer. Then I bought a glass slide and thought, I'll have a go. Smashed that, and now I'm a plumber. So, anyway, I've got the right notes. You make it sound better than me. Next thing we're going to do is slide into the 15th fret of the B very quickly, and then 15th fret of the E. Like that. And then you're just going to go back and forth between those two notes. And then hit them both together and slide down. You might notice that I'm keeping the slide moving there because that's what I can kind of hear it doing. So now we're going to do the same kind of thing again, but we're going to slide into the 15th fret of the G and the B. And then you've just got a series of B, G. But what you want to do is kind of move the slide back in every time. So you down when you come out. And that's what kind of gives it that like sliding, like doesn't know, can't make its mind up thing. And if you get it up to speed, gives it the same vibe as on the track. So we start with a 14th fret bend on the G, then a 12 on the B, and then we're going to go pull off 14, 12 on the G, down to the 14 on the D. So it's that whole 3-note down, 1 back up thing. So then 12 on the G, 14, 12 on the D, pull off. Then we're going to go 14, 12 on the D, pull off, to 14 on the A. And then we've got 12 on the D, 14, 12, pull off on the A. And then this is where it's a little bit different. So a lot of people would slide down there, but Jimmy did another pull off from the 14 on the A to the 12, and then slides down to the 10, and then carries on now from here, 12, pull off to 10, to the 12 on the E, 10 on the A, pull off from 12 on the E down to the 10. So you've got that nice. We're going to resolve on an A, so that's the 5th fret of the E string. So after that 12, 10, pull off, sorry. And then you can just do like a little power slide up and out. So that last riff at speed will sound like this. And slow, again, it's very comparable to the other descending pattern. It's just coming down in 3s, and it just sort of snaps back to the 10th and 12th frets here to a different position of the pentatonic scale, but it's the same notes. There we go, guys. That is another Zeppelin tune in the bag. I asked around, Patreon, Instagram, and like maybe 20 people all said good times, bad times, because they liked my cover that I did with the bottle, and then I never did a lesson with it, but now we're kind of on a roll. You know what? 38 degrees. I'm not gonna lie, I think that hairdresser's done me a solid one, because I might be dying right now if I had my full wig. It's not a wig, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up now, and I'm gonna go. But don't forget, smash that like button, leave me a comment, hit subscribe, hit the little bell next to subscribe. I've been spared. It's been hot. It's been emotional. My hand keeps coming closer to the camera. I think it's time for me to go. I'll see you soon, guys. Bye.